Steph Curry with the 3. All right, Steph Curry just did this record. He hit the most 3-point shots in NBA history. I think he beat Ray Allen out on that one, but Will, correct me if I'm wrong. Will, fact check. NBA fact check.
Correct.
Nice. All right, sweet. He did that. It was a big milestone. And, he's done a bunch of NFTs and stuff to commemorate this milestone. One of them was these little cards with these little drawings. Those are on the, I think, FTX marketplace. But this other one, through his shoe brand, remember, Jordan is to Nike as Steph Curry's shoe brand is to Under Armour. His shoe brand is doing these little shoes that you can wear in a bunch of the different metaverses out there, in Decentraland and the Sandbox, and I think a couple others. So, yeah, this dropped last night, I think around 8:30. There seemed to be some excitement around it. And the big story to me is it's UA, it's Under Armour, kind of rounding out the trifecta of Nike and Adidas jumping whole hog into the metaverse with various activations. We got Nike buying a metaverse studio. We had Adidas also kind of aping into the NFT scene. And now we have Under Armour through Steph Curry, who is doing it as well. So the metaverse and sports and shoes and wearables and look and fly, that's the story here. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to throw it to our Looking Fly correspondent, Naomi Brockwell. Naomi, what are your thoughts?
I have thoughts. So I have a question. The 2,974 non-fungible tokens, is that number relevant somehow? Like, is that...
It's the number of three-pointers. It's the number of three-pointers. Yeah.
All right.
It's the record-setting number.
Oh, was that your shot attempt, Jen?
I like it.
That's how I do sports.
That's like a cat. That's how I do it too.
Classic Canadian.
And the other thing is, it's interesting. So each NFT will be priced at $333 and all proceeds will go to children's sports charities. That's pretty nice to do this thing that's going to get a lot of attention, that people think is this momentous occasion. It might get some traction and he's able to raise money for a good cause. I love the idea of NFTs for that. We've talked about, different NFTs in the past that have done this, the Ross Ulbricht collection, raising money for a good cause. There's also a DAO being set up for Julian Assange doing a very similar thing where they're trying to raise money with this whole extradition thing. This one here, you've got money going to children's sports charities. I really like that. That makes me happy to see this NFT world kind of getting steam and directing people towards interesting causes that are valuable to people. So I'll throw to you, Jen. What are your thoughts as our other sports desk correspondent?
Yeah, I know. So I was just wanted to piggyback off of that charity comment. I've been a little bit frustrated lately when I've seen these NFTs, especially the wearable NFTs, go for so much money, because I think that NFTs really can help solve some of the issues we're seeing with, like fast fashion and the amount of money that's going into the fashion industry that has really contributed to a lot of these issues we're seeing in the crypto space when we talk about climate change and the amount of energy that the fashion industry uses. So it was awesome when I saw that they were $333, but it was going to a charitable cause. And Stefan and his wife, they're very big on their charitable causes. They are attached to many, and I believe that they have their own. Zach can tell us what that's called, because I don't remember. But what I took away from this story was that these shoes are wearable in 3 metaverses. So we have Decentraland, the Sandbox, and Gala Games. And I think we've brought up on this show before, it's going to be really interesting when we see these NFTs and wearables that come into the metaverse. How are they going to operate with different metaverses? And are certain brands going to own certain metaverses? And what's that going to look like for IP? And I think we're seeing that come to life. And I think projects like these are going to answer some of those questions. And we may see some interesting IP law solutions or issues come out of them. But Zach, I'll pass it back to you.
I mean, you look at these shoes, this is kind of the beauty of like the open metaverse concept, right? Like, maybe these shoes would only be able to exist in like the Facebook metaverse if it wasn't built on these open metaverses, right? And so to see big brands thinking about interoperability between these various metaverses that are open and free to all to develop and play therein is good. Is a good sign for maybe these open metaverses being able to compete with the more centralized metaverses that Facebook and others will inevitably roll out. So yeah, Naomi, do you have a thought on that?
I just have one more thought, because the chat is asking questions and getting a little bit cynical, and I just want to address what's going on there. So someone asked, what happens to when these get resold? Does he get the money or do the charities get the money? I'm not sure. Generally, it's the artist, whoever creates it, that gets the money, and then people are like, well, he would go and make a ton more money and leave the charities in the dust. It's like, right, you mean where the charities were before? He gave them that lump sum of money, that huge chunk that he decided to donate when he didn't have to. Like, I think that we shouldn't think of these celebrities giving money to charities as like, well, they must do this and we demand it of them. It's like, this is a really nice thing that they've done. And I think that it's good that the artist or whoever created this also gets a chunk of this. I made an NFT collection for Ross Ulbricht. I actually wasn't the artist in this. It was Money Alotta. And we did a fundraiser. 100% of the donations went to Ross Ulbricht. And then Money Alotta got whatever money from the resale value. He got residuals from that. And I think that's totally fine. He was the artist who created this. He put the work into this. And I think that artists should get paid for their work. So I think that's totally fine. So I wanted to just mention that when we see these things, like, I think it's okay for this profit sharing thing. And we're exploring new territories of how this money is distributed. And it's exciting territory. So I wouldn't be too cynical right off the bat.